Are you hitting the gym all the time, getting a great pump, but when you look in the mirror, you see the same person you saw last month, or even more? The hard truth is, the very thing you're chasing might be why you're not growing. You know, that awesome tight feeling in your muscles, the pump, feels like you're making progress, but for a lot of natural lifters, it's a big misunderstanding. It's the illusion of progress, and it's a critical mistake that separates those who are frustrated from a few who build a truly impressive physique naturally, not only naturally. In this video, I'll show you what actually drives muscle growth for natural lifters and how to start progression again. Hi, my name is Boris Kish. I'm an IBB licensed coach, professional nutritionist, and a super heavyweight bodybuilding competitor in the over 100 kilo category, which is over 220 pounds on stage. I'm 6'4" tall, which is 193 centimeters. Welcome to my channel. Now, before I start this video, I want to explain you that hypertrophy is muscle fibers in your system that are supposed to get bigger with proper training, proper nutrition, right? Which two hypertrophies exist and how to stimulate them, which one is the best for you. You know, number one, I want to start with sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. What's a sarcoplasmic hypertrophy and how to achieve that? You know, this is when you're mostly training for the, of course, muscle-mind connection, proper connection, pump, and this is all okay, so that you develop, details and fullness. It's really good, for isolation movements, security. Of course, I saw a lot of online coaches are actually saying that this is how you're supposed to, build muscles. You're not supposed to put, a lot of weight if you're not a power lifter. As I said in my thumbnail, stop lifting light. I don't agree with that. I, believe in something completely else. We will get to that. But, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is extremely good. It's necessary. But the problem with this hypertrophy is, pump without progression. There is no long-term growth. Do you understand? The food, the high protein intake, progressive overload, forget the progressive overload. The supplements are coming, only if you're having really, really strong stimulus, and that's progressive overload. The pump and all those isolation movements, are not, building muscle by itself. And I can tell you also from my example, just think about it logically. Let's say that you achieved certain amount of weight that you can bench press, right? And let's say if you're not natural, this video is not, of course, promoting anyone not to be natural, but I'm going to give you an example from my personal example. For example, you achieve that you come with pads to 300 pounds bench press, which is around 140 kgs, let's say 6 times, and then you go off the cycle. And then you say, okay, I'm going to maintain this strength a little bit easier. I'm going to go 20 kilos less, which is around 45 pounds, right? And I'm going to be maximally focused on isolation, on the pump, on muscle-mind connection, and I'm not going to lose any muscle. This is absolutely not possible. Also, if you're fully natural, of course, let's say you come to the certain weight, and then you decide, okay, this weight is a little bit too heavy for me. I want to maintain the same muscle mass, by lifting less with way better movement, isolation and concentration. I can guarantee to you that this is unfortunately not going to work, and you're going to lose that muscle. And of course, I want to tell you quickly, if you want to take your training to the next level, I've made 3 completely free training splits. Link is below, and I will send them straight to your email. Now we go to the number 2, and that's myofibrillar hypertrophy. Actually, my favorite. I'm not going to joke you. not going to lie to you about this. But it's also not the solution. But it's extremely important to understand the difference. I mean, the strength is the base for the muscle growth. Whoever tells you otherwise is bullshitting you. I mean, I never saw a big, huge bodybuilder in my life, in my career, that I trained with, that I saw him in the gym, in the super heavyweight category, you know, that was weak, that was not, you know, as strong as fuck, you know. I mean, especially as a natural lifter, I mean, if the weight is not progressing, growing on the bar, if you're not grabbing the stronger, you know, dumbbells, there is absolutely no, excuse me, reason for your body to build the new muscle. Do you understand? I mean, natural must especially chase progression and, you know, weight and power. Of course, that doesn't mean, I didn't say that you have to do ego lifting. I didn't say that you have to unalive yourself, that you have to kill yourself. But no matter what you're doing, if the weight is not growing, you're not going to grow. You're not going to put high quality muscle tissue. Do you understand? Doesn't have to be ego lifting, but really what is necessary is a serious mechanical tension. You understand? Without the strength, you won't get the base. And again, I'm going to tell you from my personal experience, you know, when I was much younger, back then we didn't know any better. When I was bulking, I was of course on steroids. Back then, you know, I went into my muscle phase, you know, bulking phase. We didn't know, you know, back then any better. So, you know, in the mass phase, you're supposed to eat as much as possible, you know, of course, lift heavy, and later you just cut that fat off and you're super lean, stage ready, which is completely bullshit. But this is the topic for another video. I'm just going to explain you a little bit. I mean, if you want to, of course, progress, if you want to put more muscle size, you have to eat decent amount of protein, 3 grams, 4 grams, 5 grams per kilogram. And even later in my career, when I understood that, do you understand? I was eating clean. I was eating 500 grams of protein per day, you know, every possible supplement. I had good pads, I had GH, I had everything. When the weight was not growing on the bar, when I was not grabbing bigger dumbbells, I was not putting muscle tissue on myself. So you cannot increase the food, you cannot increase the pads. I mean, I'm speaking about this on the video for naturals, just that you know that you're not disadvantaged by being a natural. This is much better, 10 times harder. Have my full respect and I'm proud of you. But no matter what you took, if the weight is not, you know, how can I say, properly increasing, you're not going to put muscle tissue on yourself. But again, you know, just to be clear, I know people, I heard about people who are dying, for example, on the squat rack, okay? They're dying, they're giving their maximum, but the legs are simply not growing. Their legs are not growing, and they're really giving their all. Why? Because, you know, they're not doing it properly, not that they're stupid, not that they're ego lifting, but they don't know how to, you know, put their body, you know, into the proper position, and simply, you know, the quads are not growing. They're not small, but they're not big enough. The outer part of the quad is not good enough, you know, because this system doesn't work for them. You understand that they're more focused on the myofibrillar hypertrophy, and they completely put the sarcoplasmic, you know, on the side. And this is also not a solution. And you also could see, I'm not going to name them because I like them all, but you have a lot of Mr. Olympia competitors also from the 90s that had huge legs, but there were not enough detail, separation, etc., etc. You can say that that's genetics, but you can clearly see when somebody was strong, somebody was lifting heavy, but he was not doing both hypertrophies properly. Do you understand? I mean, if you found this helpful, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button for more real no fluff fitness advice, and I'll really appreciate it. And now we get to the number 3, and that's the kind of a final conclusion and my opinion to all of this, my solution, of course, to all of this, and this is combination of the both. What actually is a real bodybuilding, you know, so how to implement both of these hypertrophies properly. I mean, I'm gonna tell you what I do, what I highly suggest that you do. And of course, I want to also say that this video is for those who want to progress. If you do something else, if you're happy with what you're doing, if you don't want to progress, it's also completely fine. This is for the ones, you know, who really want to be the best that they can be. So let's get back to it. You know, I would say compound exercises, you know, do more myofibrillar, okay? Bench press, squat, basic curls, etc., etc. You know what I want to say. Isolation movements, more sarcoplasmic, you know, flies, extensions, push downs, you know. First, heavy, pump later. You understand? I mean, the strength is giving the real reason to grow. Volume, you know, is shaping, you know, more the shape and how you're going to look, you know. Density plus the fullness, pardon, that's the real bodybuilding. That's how you're supposed to do it, you know. I mean, as I said, for example, if I do chest, I will do bench press really heavy. With the myofibrillar, every other exercise, I'm going to do sarcoplasmic. Do you understand? If I do legs, squats are going to be myofibrillar, everything else is going to be sarcoplasmic. Of course, you have to always, when you do myofibrillar movements, you have to be also super focused that you're not injured, that this, of course, exercises is for you, and that you don't do the ego lifting. That's the most important thing, you know. So I didn't said you have to do anything that's going to, you know, cause injury for you. Always think with your head, then, you know, unfortunately, when it comes to bodybuilding, then with your heart. If you understand me, to prevent the injuries. Hopefully this made sense. You know, what's your take on this? Got a question for me? Feel free to ask it down in the comment section. Are you chasing sarcoplasmic pump or progressive myofibrillar overload, or doing something else? Write it down. There are no wrong answer for this. So I would say the final conclusion would be muscle is built by tension, you know, real manly tension, not only the sensation, you know. And of course, if you want to learn the only 7 exercises you need for massive gains, highly suggest that you click on this video right here, and I'll see you there.